What would you do if someone offered you $50 billion for something you discovered by accident? Something that could save the world or destroy it? Most people would take the money and run. But Elon Musk isn't most people. In March 2024, in a windowless room deep inside Tesla's Austin factory, a mysterious businessman made Elon an offer that would have made him the richest person in history. All he had to do was sign one piece of paper. The offer wasn't for Tesla. It wasn't for SpaceX. It was for something else entirely. Something secret. Something the world didn't know existed. Something that would change everything. But as protesters chanted outside and Tesla's stock price crashed, Elon faced an impossible choice. Take the money and save everyone who believed in him, or walk away and risk losing everything. The decision he made in that gray concrete room would determine the future of humanity itself. This is the story of why the smartest business decision in history looked like the dumbest one at the time. The room smelled like metal and fear. Elon Musk sat in the small, windowless conference room deep inside Tesla's Gigafactory in Austin, Texas. The walls were gray concrete. The table was cold steel. There were no windows, no pictures, nothing that made this place feel human. Across from him sat a man in a perfect black suit. Chen Weiming looked like he had never sweated in his life. His gold watch caught the harsh light from the ceiling. His smile never changed, even when he wasn't talking. $50 billion. Mr. Musk, Chen said. His voice was smooth like expensive. He slid a thick leather folder across the metal table. Cash, no conditions, just sign here. Elon stared at the contract inside the folder. The numbers looked fake. 50 billion. That was more money than most countries had. His hands shook a little as he turned the pages, not from fear, but from being so tired. He hadn't slept in 36 hours. Outside the room, he could hear them, the protesters. They had been there for weeks now, chanting and holding signs. Tesla steals our water, they shouted. Save Texas from Musk. Texas was having its worst drought in decades. People were angry. They blamed Tesla for using too much water to make batteries. Alan's phone buzzed in his pocket. Another angry message. From the Tesla board. The stock price was falling like a rock. Down 60% in 2 months. People were scared. They were selling their Tesla stock as fast as they could. But the offer sitting in front of him wasn't for Tesla. It wasn't for SpaceX either. It was for something else. Something secret. Something the world didn't know existed yet. Something that could change everything. What's the catch? Elon asked. His voice came out like a whisper. Chen's smile got a little bigger. No catch. We simply want to purchase your discovery. All of it. Every detail. Every piece of research. Every single person who knows about it. And then what? Then you become the richest man who ever lived. And we become the owners of the future. Elon looked at the contract again. The words seemed to swim on the page. He was so tired. When was the last time he had eaten? Yesterday? The day before? He thought about all the people counting on him. The Tesla workers who might lose their jobs if the company failed. The SpaceX engineers who dreamed of Mars. The thousands of families who had bought Tesla stock, believing in his vision. $50 billion could save them all, but it could also destroy everything he had worked for. I need time, Elon said. Chen checked his gold watch. The numbers glowed green in the dim light. Time is expensive, Mr. Musk. More expensive than you might think. How long do I have? You have until sunrise tomorrow. After that, we go to your competitors. And trust me, they will not be as generous as we are. Chen stood up. His black suit didn't have a single wrinkle. Think carefully, Mr. Musk. This is not just about money. This is about who controls the next step in human evolution. He walked to the door, then stopped and turned back. And Mr. Musk, your security is very good, but not perfect. We know about the Phoenix project. We know about the tests. We know about the results. The only question is whether you will profit from your discovery, or whether someone else will. The door closed with a soft click. Elon was alone. He put his head in his hands. Through the concrete walls, he could still hear the protesters. Through his phone, he could feel the panic of investors. Through the contract in front of him, he could see two different futures. In one future, he was the richest man in history. In the other, He might lose everything. But there was something Chen didn't understand, something that made this choice impossible. The Phoenix Project wasn't just a discovery. It was an accident. A beautiful, terrible accident that happened while they were trying to reach Mars. And now that accident could either save the world or destroy it. Elon stood up and walked to the door. Outside, the sun was setting over Austin. The sky was red and orange, like Mars. Like the dream that had started all of this. He had until sunrise to decide. $50 billion, or the future of humanity. The choice should have been easy. But as Elon walked through the empty halls of the Gigafactory, listening to the protesters outside and feeling the weight of the contract in his pocket, he realized that some choices were never easy. They were just necessary. And sometimes, the right choice was the one that made no sense at all. 16 years earlier, Hawthorne, California, September 2008. The factory was dark except for one light. Elon stood under it, staring at the rocket that might save his company or destroy his last hope. Falcon 1. Rocket number 4. The first 3 had exploded. Each failure had cost him millions of dollars he didn't have. Each explosion had taken him closer to bankruptcy. Each disaster had made more people think he was crazy. Just a rich guy playing with rockets, the newspapers wrote. Elon Musk read. They called him on the internet. More money than brains. Maybe they were right. It was 3 in the morning. The SpaceX factory in Hawthorne was empty except for him. Outside, Los Angeles slept. Inside, Elon couldn't sleep at all. He had put every penny from selling PayPal into Tesla and SpaceX. His friends thought he was insane. His first wife had divorced him. The bank wanted to take his house. And now he was broke. Well, almost broke. He had enough money for one more rocket launch. After that, SpaceX would be finished. Tesla would probably die too. And his dream of getting to Mars would die with them. Mr. Musk. He turned around. Maria Santos walked toward him through the shadows. She was one of his first employees at SpaceX. Smart as a whip and tougher than nails. She worked harder than anyone and never complained, even when paychecks were late. Maria, what are you doing here so late? I could ask you the same thing. She sat down on a wooden crate full of rocket parts. The team is worried. They should be worried. We're about to run out of money. Some of them are talking about quitting, getting jobs at Boeing or Lockheed. Elon nodded. He understood. People had families to feed, bills to pay. Dreams didn't put food on the table. They should quit, he said quietly. I'm asking them to believe in something impossible. Maria looked at the rocket standing in front of them. Falcon 1 was small compared to the giant rockets that NASA used, but it was beautiful in its own way. Simple, clean. Built for one purpose, to prove that a private company could reach space. You know what my daughter asked me yesterday? Maria said. What? She asked me what rockets are for. She's only 8 years old. She sees me working all these crazy hours, coming home exhausted. And she wanted to know why. Elon sat down on another crate. What did you tell her? I told her that rockets carry dreams to the stars. They sat in silence for a moment. The factory felt huge around them. So much space, so much hope, so much fear. What if the dreams are too heavy? Elon asked. Maria smiled. Then we build stronger rockets. Elon looked at her. Really looked at her. Here was a woman who could have gotten a safe job anywhere. Good pay, regular hours, no risk of the company disappearing tomorrow. But she chose to stay here, in this crazy place, building impossible things with a man everyone thought was nuts. Why do you believe in this? He asked. Because someone has to, she said simply. Because my daughter deserves to live in a world where people reach for the stars instead of just counting money. 3 weeks later, Falcon 1 launched for the 4th time. Elon stood in mission control with Maria and the rest of the team. The rocket lifted off from a tiny island in the Pacific Ocean. They watched on screens as it climbed higher and higher. First stage separation. Perfect. Second stage ignition. Perfect. Come on, Maria whispered. Come on, baby. The rocket kept climbing through the atmosphere, into the black of space. And then, for the first time in SpaceX history, it worked. Orbit achieved. Someone shouted. The room exploded in cheers. People hugged and cried and laughed all at the same time. Maria grabbed Elon's hand and squeezed it tight. "You did it," she said, tears streaming down her face. "We actually did it." Elon nodded. Too emotional to speak. They had done it. They had built a rocket that could reach space. A private company had done what only governments had done before. But more than that, they had proven something else. They had proven that impossible dreams could come true if you were willing to pay the price. Later that night, after everyone had gone home to celebrate with their families, Elon walked back out to the factory floor. It was quiet again, dark except for that one light. But now it felt different. Now it felt like a place where dreams had weight. Real weight. The kind of weight that could lift rockets into space and carry people to Mars. He thought about Maria's daughter asking what rockets were for. They were for proving that some things were worth more than money. Some things were worth risking everything for. Some things were worth believing in, even when everyone else thought you were crazy. Especially then. Present day Austin, Texas. Elon blinked and found himself back in the Gigafactory. The memory faded, but the feeling stayed. The weight of dreams. The choice between what was safe and what was right. He pulled out his phone and looked at a picture. Maria Santos, now a senior vice president at SpaceX, older, grayer, but with the same fire in her eyes, the same belief that impossible things could happen. Her daughter was 16 now, honor student, captain of the robotics team, still dreaming of stars. $50 billion would solve a lot of problems, but some problems couldn't be solved with money. Some problems could only be solved with the courage to say no to the easy choice, even when that choice made no sense at all. Boca Chica, Texas, January 24. The Starship towered against the morning sky like a silver needle pointing toward Mars. Elon stood in the control room at Starbase, watching his engineers prepare for another engine test. The Raptor engines were the heart of everything, the most powerful rocket engines ever built. "Fuel loading complete," announced Jake Morrison, the lead test engineer. "Ready for ignition sequence." Elon nodded. This was test number 47. Each test brought them closer to perfection. Each test brought Mars closer to reality. "Light it up," he said. The Raptor engines roared to life, even through the thick walls of the control room. The sound was incredible, like thunder that never stopped, like the voice of the future itself. Dr. Sarah Kim sat at her computer station, watching numbers scroll across her screen. She was a materials scientist, one of the smartest people Elon had ever met. Her job was to study what happened to the rocket during these tests. Every vibration, every temperature change, every tiny detail that could mean the difference between success and explosion. "Something's weird," she said suddenly. Elon looked over her shoulder. "What kind of weird?" "The exhaust analysis. I'm getting readings I've never seen before." The test ended. The engines shut down. The Starship stood silent again, waiting for its next chance to prove itself. Dr. Kim pulled up her data on the big screen. Charts and graphs filled the wall. To most people, it looked like random lines and numbers, but to her, it was a story. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a red line on the graph. "During the burn, the combustion process is creating something. Something new." "New how?" Elon asked. "New like it shouldn't exist. The extreme heat and pressure inside the engine are doing something to the molecules. They're forming structures I've never seen in any textbook." For the next 3 months, Dr. Kim worked in secret. She collected samples from every engine test. She studied them under microscopes. She ran experiments that made her forget to eat, forget to sleep, forget everything except the mystery she was trying to solve. Finally, on a rainy Tuesday in March, she called Elon to her lab. "I figured it out," she said. Her eyes were bright with excitement and fear. "The combustion process is creating a new type of material. I've been calling it Phoenix." She showed him a tiny sample under the microscope. It looked like metal, but it shimmered with colors that seemed to move. "It's lighter than carbon fiber," she explained, "stronger than diamond. And it can only be made in the exact conditions we create when a Raptor engine fires." Elon stared at the sample. "How much lighter?" "A car frame made with Phoenix would weigh 90% less than a normal car frame, but it would be 10 times stronger." "What about batteries?" Electric car batteries enhanced with Phoenix would last 10 times longer and weigh almost nothing. Elon's mind raced. This wasn't just about rockets anymore. This was about everything. Cars that could drive across the country on a single charge. Airplanes that used no fuel. Buildings that could survive earthquakes and hurricanes. Dr. Kim, he said slowly, I think you just solved climate change. But Dr. Kim didn't look happy. She looked scared. There's a problem, she said. I think someone else knows about Phoenix. She showed him her computer. Email after email from people she'd never met. Scientists asking strange questions. Companies offering her jobs with salaries that made no sense. And yesterday, I got this. She showed him a photo on her phone. A black car parked outside her apartment building. The same car that had been there for 3 days. Someone's watching me, she whispered. That night, Elon couldn't sleep. He walked around Starbase, looking at the rockets that had accidentally created the most important discovery in human history. Phoenix could save the world. It could make renewable energy so cheap and efficient that fossil fuels would disappear overnight. But it could also destroy the world. Imagine tanks that weigh nothing but can't be destroyed, Dr. Kim had said. Imagine weapons so light they could be carried anywhere, but so strong they could level cities. Elon thought about the Chinese consortium, about Chen Weiming and his perfect smile, about the $50 billion sitting in that leather folder. They knew about Phoenix. Somehow, they had found out about the secret that could change everything. Question was, what did they want to do with it? His phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number. We know what you found. We know what it can do. We can offer you more than money. We can offer you control over the future. Think carefully, Mr. Musk. Some discoveries are too dangerous for one man to control. Elon looked up at the stars. Mars was up there somewhere, red and distant and waiting. He had spent his whole life trying to get there. Now, by accident, he had discovered something that could either help humanity reach the stars or ensure they never left Earth alive. The Phoenix material gleamed in the laboratory like a promise and a threat. Beautiful and terrible at the same time, just like the choice he would have to make. In the morning, Chen Weiming would be back with his leather folder and his $50 billion. And Elon would have to decide, was Phoenix worth more than money, or was it worth more than anything? He walked back to the control room and looked at the starship one more time. Tomorrow, they would test the engines again. Tomorrow, they would create more Phoenix. Tomorrow, he would have to choose between the future he had always wanted and the future humanity needed. Even if that choice made no sense at all. Tesla Fremont Factory, California. Same day. Miguel Rodriguez wiped sweat from his forehead as the assembly line kept moving. Cars rolled past him, one after another, endless and silver. He had been building Teslas for 6 years. It was good work. Honest work. Work that felt like it mattered. But today, everything felt different. The stock price was on every screen in the break room, down 60%. His Tesla stock options, the ones that were supposed to pay for Sophia's college, were now worth almost nothing. Worse than nothing. They were worth fear. Papa, how much longer until I can go home? Miguel looked at his phone. Sophia's face filled. The screen, 8 years old, sitting in a hospital bed, wearing a pink hat to cover her bald head. The cancer had taken her hair, but it hadn't taken her smile. Soon, Nija, he said softly. The doctors say the treatment is working. That was a lie. The doctors said the treatment might work if they could afford the new medicine. If Miguel's insurance would pay for it. If Tesla's stock price didn't keep falling. If is Mr. Musk really going to Mars? Sophia asked. She loved hearing about rockets and space. It made her forget about the needles and the machines and the long days in the hospital. Someday, Miguel said. He's working very hard on it. Will you ask him to take me? When I'm better. Miguel's throat felt tight. Of course, baby. I'll ask him. After the call ended, Miguel went back to the assembly line, but his hands shook as he installed the battery panels. How could he ask his daughter's hero for help when that same hero's company was falling apart? Shanghai, China. Same night. Li Xiaoping stared at the message on his encrypted phone. The numbers made his head spin. $10 million. American dollars. just for sharing some research files. It's not stealing, the voice on the phone had explained. It's bringing revolutionary technology to your homeland. Think of the good China could do with this discovery. Li worked for Tesla's battery division in Shanghai. He was a good engineer, loyal to the company, loyal to Elon's vision of a sustainable future. But $10 million could change everything. His mother was dying, slowly, painfully, from a disease the doctors said they could fix, if Li had enough money. If he could afford the surgery she needed. How would he had started to ask. Simple, access the Phoenix research files, copy them to this drive. Leave the drive in locker 47 at the subway station. You'll have the money in 24 hours. They looked at the small USB drive sitting on his desk. So tiny, so harmless looking. But it could save his mother's life. It could also betray everything he believed in. SpaceX headquarters, Hawthorne. Late night. Maria Santos found Elon in his office at 2 in the morning. He was staring at his computer screen, reading news articles about Tesla's falling stock price. Rough day, she asked. People are losing their homes, Maria. Families who believed in us, who bought Tesla stock because they thought we were building the future. Maria sat down across from his desk. And now they think we're just another company that made big promises and couldn't deliver. She picked up a newspaper from his desk. The headline read, "MUSK's empire crumbles, Tesla stock in free fall. What they don't know won't hurt them." She asked, what they don't know could save them or destroy them. Elon rubbed his tired eyes. Phoenix could solve every energy problem on Earth. But if the wrong people get it, it becomes a weapon. The most dangerous weapon ever created. He turned his computer screen toward her. Photos of Phoenix samples filled the display. Beautiful, mysterious, terrible. So what do you do? Maria asked. I don't know. Chen's offer could save Tesla. It could make everyone who invested in us rich. Miguel Rodriguez in Fremont has a daughter with cancer. His Tesla stock was supposed to pay for her treatment. Maria felt something cold in her stomach. And now his stock is worthless. Because I'm spending company resources on secret projects instead of building cars. They sat in silence. Outside, Los Angeles slept. Inside, the weight of impossible choices pressed down on them. People are suffering while you play with rocket fuel, Maria said quietly. And if I sell Phoenix to Chen, people will suffer forever. Maria stood up and walked to the window. The SpaceX factory stretched out below them. Engineers working late shifts. Dreamers building impossible things. People who believe that tomorrow could be better than today. There's a third option, she said. What? You could tell the world. Make it public. Let everyone decide what to do with Phoenix. Elon shook his head. Governments would seize it. Military contractors would weaponize it. We'd have a new arms race before the week was over. So you keep it secret forever? I don't know. Alan's voice echoed in the empty office. I don't know what to do. Every choice hurts someone. Every decision has victims. Maria turned back to him, including the decision to do nothing. At that moment, both their phones buzzed. Emergency news alert. Tesla worker's daughter in critical condition. Family unable to afford treatment as medical costs soar and Tesla stock plummets. The article showed a photo. Miguel Rodriguez standing outside a hospital, holding his daughter's hand. Oh no. Maria whispered. Elon stared at the photo. Sofia Rodriguez, 8 years old, fighting for her life while her father's dreams crumbled. This is my fault, he said. Double quotes. No, this is bigger than you, bigger than any of us. But Elon wasn't listening. He was thinking about a little girl who wanted to go to Mars, a little girl whose father had believed in Tesla's promise of a better future. A little girl who might die because Elon Musk couldn't decide whether to save the world or save the people in it. What if the dreams are too heavy? He had asked Maria once, long ago. Now he knew the answer. Sometimes the dreams were so heavy they crushed the dreamers, even when that choice made no sense at all. Tesla Gigafactory, Austin, and next morning Wei-Ming arrived at exactly 9 o'clock. Just like he promised, but this time, he wasn't alone. 3 other people in dark suits followed him into the conference room. They carried briefcases and tablets and the kind of confidence that came with unlimited money. Mr. Musk, Chen said, his smile even brighter than before. I hope you've had Time to think about our offer. Elon sat across from them, feeling like he hadn't slept in weeks, which was mostly true. I've been thinking about a lot of things. Excellent. Because we have a new proposal. Something even better than $50 billion. Chen opened his briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. This one was blue leather instead of black. It looked more expensive, more dangerous. We don't just want to buy Phoenix, Chen said. We want to partner with you. Tesla gets exclusive rights to manufacture Phoenix-enhanced electric vehicles. You keep your company. Your workers keep their jobs. Your investors get rich. He slid papers across the table. Charts and graphs showing Tesla's stock price shooting up like a rocket. Numbers that looked too good to be real. Think of the good you could do with this partnership, Chen continued. Tesla could build cars that drive 1,000 miles on one charge. Trucks that carry twice the weight but weigh half as much. You could put every gas station out of business in 5 years. Elon looked at the papers. The numbers were incredible. Tesla stock would go from $120 to $2,000. Everyone who had invested in the company would become millionaires. And all I have to do is share Phoenix technology with your consortium. Sharing is such an ugly word. Think of it as expanding the possibilities. What possibilities? Chen's smile flickered for just a second. Defense applications, transportation infrastructure, industrial manufacturing. The kind of projects that require substantial resources and discretion. Weapons. He was talking about weapons. I'd like to show you something, Chen said. He nodded to one of his associates, who pulled out a tablet. This is a simulation of what Phoenix could do for global transportation. The video showed cars floating above highways, planes that looked more like spaceships, trains that moved so fast they seemed to teleport from city to city. Beautiful, isn't it? Chen said. A world where distance means nothing, where energy is infinite, where the laws of physics bend to human will. And who controls this world? Elon asked. The people wise enough to invest in it. After the meeting, Chen insisted on touring the Gigafactory. Elon walked with him through the massive building, past the assembly lines where robots and humans work together to build the future. They stopped to watch Shauna Thompson, assembly line supervisor who had been with Tesla for 8 years. She was showing a group of new workers how to install battery packs. That's my son, she said proudly, pointing to a photo taped to her workstation. A boy about 10 years old, wearing a SpaceX t-shirt and grinning at the camera. He wants to be an astronaut. Says Mr. Musk is going to take him to Mars someday. Chen watched this exchange with interest. Charming, he murmured. Tell me, what happens to workers like her if Tesla fails? They find other jobs. In this economy, with their skill set, Chen shook his head. Mr. Musk, you're not just choosing between money and principles. You're choosing between the dreams of thousands of families and your own stubborn idealism. That evening, Elon drove through downtown Austin. The city was growing fast, but it still had problems. Homeless camps under highway overpasses, families struggling to pay rent, kids who went to bed hungry because their parents worked 2 jobs and still couldn't make ends out. $50 billion could fix a lot of problems. He stopped at Dell Children's Medical Center, the same hospital where Sofia Rodriguez was fighting for her life. He didn't go inside. He just sat in the parking lot, watching families walk in and out. Some looked hopeful. Others looked destroyed. How many kids could $50 billion save? His phone rang. Kimball, his brother. I saw the news about Tesla's stock, Kimball said. You hanging in there? I might be about to make the stupidest decision in business history, or the smartest. Remember when you put your last $4 million into Tesla instead of buying a mansion? Everyone called you crazy then too. This is different. This affects more than just me. The best decisions usually do. After hanging up, Elon walked into the hospital. He told the nurse he wanted to visit the children's cancer ward. He didn't mention his name. He just said he wanted to read stories to kids who were scared. They put him in a room with 6 small beds. 6 kids fighting battles that no child should have to fight. In the corner bed, a boy about 8 years old was drawing pictures of rockets. What's your name? Elon asked. David Chen. The boy looked up with huge brown eyes. Are you here to read us a story? Elon sat down beside the bed. David's drawing showed a rocket ship flying toward a red planet. Mars. Are you really going to Mars? David asked quietly. Someday, when the rockets are ready. Will you take me with you? When I'm better? Alan's throat felt tight. This boy had the same name as the man trying to buy Phoenix. But where Chen Weiming saw $signs, David Chen saw stars. I'll save you a seat, Elon promised. David smiled. It was the kind of smile that could power rockets and heal broken hearts and make impossible things seem possible. My mom says, "You're going to change the world," David whispered. "I'm trying to. Good. The world needs changing." Later, walking through the hospital parking lot, Elon thought about two different kinds of change. Chen's change came with money and power and control. It came with weapons and military applications and the kind of progress that left people behind. David's change came with dreams and hope and the belief that tomorrow could be better than today. $50 billion could save David's life. But selling Phoenix to Chen might doom David's future. The choice should have been easy. Save the boy who was dying now, or save the world he might grow up in. But as Elon drove back to the Gigafactory, watching the sunset paint the Texas sky red like Mars, he realized that some choices were never easy. They were just necessary, even when that choice made no sense at all. Tesla Gigafactory, Austin, dawn. March 2020. For the sun was starting to rise over Austin when Elon walked back into the same gray conference room. He hadn't slept at all. His eyes felt like sandpaper. His hands shook from too much coffee and too little food. Chen Weiming was already there, sitting in the exact same chair as yesterday. His black suit looked perfect. His smile looked hungry. "You look tired, Mr. Musk," Chen said. "I hope that means you've been thinking hard about our offer." Elon sat down across from him. The blue leather folder was still on the table. $50 billion, plus partnerships, plus Tesla's salvation, plus everything he needed to save the people counting on him. "Have you decided?" Chen asked. Elon thought about Dr. Kim's warnings. Phoenix in the wrong hands could create weapons that would make nuclear bombs look like firecrackers. He thought about tanks that weighed nothing but couldn't be destroyed. Aircraft that could carry massive weapons while moving faster than anything on Earth. He thought about Sofia Rodriguez in her hospital bed, fighting cancer while her father's Tesla stock became worthless. He thought about Li Xiaoping in Shanghai, tempted to betray everything he believed in to save his dying mother. He thought about David Chen, drawing rockets in his hospital bed, asking if he could go to Mars someday. He thought about Johnny Thompson's son, wearing his SpaceX t-shirt and dreaming of being an astronaut. "I've made a lot of mistakes in my life," Elon said quietly. Chen nodded, leaning forward. This was it, the moment he had been waiting for. "I've been arrogant," Elon continued. "I've made promises I couldn't keep. I've hurt people who believed in me. I've asked families to risk everything on dreams that seemed impossible. Everyone makes mistakes," Chen said smoothly. "The smart ones learn from them." "You're right. I have learned something." Elon picked up the blue leather folder. For a moment, Chen's smile got even bigger. $50 billion was about to change hands, but instead of opening the folder, Elon pushed it back across the table. "I've learned that some mistakes can't be fixed with money," Elon said. "And I've never sold humanity's future for cash. I won't start now." Chen's smile disappeared like a light being turned off. "You're making a terrible mistake," Chen said, his voice suddenly cold. "This technology will be developed with or without you. We have other sources, other options." "Maybe," Elon said, "but not from me. Think about the families depending on you. Think about the workers who will lose their jobs when Tesla collapses. Think about the sick children who could be saved with this money. I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about all of them, including the ones who haven't been born yet." Chen stood up. His perfect suit couldn't hide his anger anymore. "You're a fool, Musk. You could have been the richest man in history. I could have been a lot of things." After Chen left, Elon sat alone in the gray room for a long time. Outside, he could hear the Gigafactory coming to life. Workers arriving for the morning shift. Machines starting up. The sound of people building the future one piece at a time. He pulled out his phone and sent a message to every Tesla and SpaceX employee. "All hands meeting. Main assembly floor. 1 hour. At exactly 9 o'clock, 12,000 people gathered in the Gigafactory. Some were there in person, others joined by video from factories around the world, engineers from Shanghai, designers from Berlin, workers from Fremont, dreamers from everywhere. Elon stood in front of them, looking smaller than usual, older, tired. "I want to tell you about something we discovered by accident," he began. For the next hour, he told them about Phoenix, about the tests, about the discovery, about the material that could change everything. "This morning, I was offered $50 billion to sell this technology to people who would turn it into weapons," he said. "I said no." A murmur went through the crowd. $50 billion. Some people guessed. Others looked confused. "That means we're keeping Phoenix. We're going to use it to build better electric cars, better rockets, better solar panels. We're going to use it to save our planet and reach for Mars." The murmur turned into applause. Not everyone understood yet, but they trusted him. "But I'm also announcing something else," Elon continued. "Phoenix technology will be open source within 5 years. No company, no country, no person should control something that can save our world." Now the applause was thunderous. People stood up. They cheered. They cried. Maria Santos, watching from the side of the stage, wiped tears from her eyes. This was why she had believed in rockets all those years ago. This was why dreams mattered. "I know some of you are worried about Tesla's stock price," Elon said when the noise died down. "I know some of you have families counting on those investments. I promise you this, Phoenix will make Tesla stronger than ever, but more importantly, it will make humanity stronger." After the meeting, Helen's phone exploded with notifications. Tesla's stock price was jumping by the minute. Up 20%, up 50%, up 100%. News channels around the world were breaking into regular programming. Elon Musk reveals revolutionary technology. Tesla stock soars on Phoenix announcement, the material that could save the world. But the call that mattered most came at noon. "Mr. Musk," it was Miguel Rodriguez, "I just wanted to say thank you." "For what?" "My Tesla stock. It's worth enough now to pay for Sophia's treatment. All of it. She's going to be okay." Elon closed his eyes. "Give her my love, and tell her I'm still working on that Mars rocket." Miguel laughed through his tears. "She's going to hold you to that promise." "I hope she does." That evening, Elon stood outside the Gigafactory, watching the sun set over Austin. The protesters were gone. The angry messages had turned into congratulations. The impossible choice had become possible. After all, Dr. Kim found him there. "Any regrets?" she asked. "About walking away from $50 billion? No," he smiled. "But ask me again when we're dealing with governments trying to steal Phoenix for their armies. We'll figure it out. We always do. Together." They stood in comfortable silence, watching the stars appear in the darkening sky. Somewhere up there was Mars, waiting for humanity to be brave enough to reach for it. Somewhere down here were kids like Sophia and David, dreaming of rockets and recovery and futures that seemed impossible. And somewhere in between was Phoenix, the accidental miracle that proved the most important things in life couldn't be bought, even when keeping them made no sense at all. 6 months later, around the world changed faster than Ennio Ni thought possible. In Tesla's Fremont factory, Miguel Rodriguez stood in front of the newest assembly line. These weren't ordinary cars rolling past him. These were Phoenix enhanced Model 3 South that could drive from Los Angeles to New York on a single charge. "Unbelievable," whispered his supervisor, Jonna Thompson. 2,000 miles without stopping. Miguel smiled, thinking about Sophia. She was home now, healthy and strong. The Phoenix enhanced medical equipment had helped her beat cancer. The doctors called it a miracle. Miguel called it proof that some things were worth more than money. "Papa, look," Sophia's voice came through his phone. She was video calling from school. Holding up a drawing, it showed a rocket ship with Rodriguez family written on the side. "Mr. Musk promised me a seat on Mars," she said proudly. "I'm going to be ready." Miguel laughed. His daughter was back to dreaming impossible dreams. And thanks to Phoenix, those dreams didn't seem so impossible anymore. Shanghai, China. Li Xiaoping walked through Tesla's expanded Phoenix production facility. The building was 3 times bigger than it had been 6 months ago. Thousands of workers built Phoenix-enhanced batteries that made electric cars practical for everyone. He thought about the USB drive still sitting in his desk drawer at home. The one Chen's people had given him to steal Phoenix secrets. He had never used it. Instead, he had reported the bribery attempt to Tesla security. "How's your mother?" asked his colleague, Dr. Wan. "Much better. The Phoenix-enhanced surgical equipment saved her life. The operation that would have cost $10 million, now it's covered by basic insurance." Lee had learned something important. The right choice wasn't always the profitable choice. Sometimes, it was the choice that let you sleep at night. His phone buzzed with a message from Chen Weiming's organization. They were still trying to steal Phoenix technology, but their offers sounded desperate now. Angry. Lee deleted the message without reading it. Some bridges were better burned. Delhi, India. Priya Sharma stood on the roof of her family's small house, watching workers install Phoenix-enhanced solar panels. Her neighborhood had never had reliable electricity before. Now they would have more power than they could use. "How much will this cost us?" her father asked nervously. "Nothing," Priya said, reading from the installation contract. "Tesla is giving these away. Mr. Musk says energy poverty should be impossible in a world with Phoenix." Her father shook his head in amazement. "When I was young, we were lucky to have electricity for 4 hours a day. Now my granddaughter will have power for her electric bicycle, her computer, everything." Priya's 5-year-old daughter, Asha, tugged on her mother's shirt. "Mama, when I grow up, can I work for the Rocket Man?" "Which Rocket Man?" "The one who gave us the magic panels." "I want to help people too." Austin, Texas, Tesla Gigafactory lawn stood in the main production hall, watching Phoenix-enhanced vehicles roll off the assembly line. Every car cost $15,000 and could drive farther than any gas car ever built. "The waitlist is 18 months long," Maria Santos reported, looking at her tablet. "We can't build them fast enough." "Good problems to have," Elon said, but his smile faded when Dr. Kim approached with a worried expression. "We have a situation," she said quietly. "Show him, Marcus." Marcus Webb, Tesla's head of security, pulled out his tablet. Satellite images filled the screen. Military bases in 3 different countries, all showing signs of Phoenix research. "They're trying to reverse engineer it," Marcus explained. "Russia, North Korea, and Iran. They've all built facilities that look like Raptor engine test sites." "Are they succeeding?" Elon asked. Dr. Kim shook her head. "Their Phoenix is flawed and stable. It's causing explosions instead of breakthroughs." On the screen, Marcus showed them news footage from a military base in Siberia, a massive crater where a building used to be. "The Chinese consortium's version is even worse," Dr. Kim continued. "They're having catastrophic failures. Their Phoenix material is toxic, radioactive, dangerous." "Why?" Elon asked. "Because they don't understand what they're copying. Phoenix isn't just about heat and pressure. It's about the exact conditions we create in Raptor engines. The precise mixture of fuels, the specific alloys in our engine walls. You can't just steal the recipe and expect it to work." Maria looked at the destruction on the screen. "How many people have been hurt?" "Too many," Marcus said grimly. "But governments don't care. They keep trying." Elon felt sick. He had tried to keep Phoenix out of military hands, but greed and nationalism were more powerful than common sense. "There's more," Dr. Kim said. "Chen Weiming is claiming that Tesla stole Phoenix technology from his consortium. He's filing lawsuits in 12 countries. He's demanding $500 billion in damages." $500 billion? Maria gasped. "He says Phoenix was developed using research his people funded. He's claiming ownership of the entire discovery." Elon laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "Of course he is. Can't buy it, can't steal it. So now he's trying to sue for it." But the real problem wasn't Chen's lawsuits. The real problem was that governments around the world were starting to panic. Phoenix technology was changing everything too fast. Oil companies were collapsing. Traditional car makers were going bankrupt. Entire industries were disappearing overnight. The European Union is threatening to ban Phoenix imports, Marcus reported. They say it's causing economic disruption. Economic disruption, Elon repeated. They mean it's working too well. That evening, Elon received a call that changed everything. Mr. Musk, this is Dr. Jennifer Park from NASA. Dr. Park, what can I do for you? We need to talk about Mars, about Phoenix, about the future of human space exploration. I'm listening. Phoenix has made interplanetary travel practical. Not in 20 years, now. We want to propose a joint mission, NASA and SpaceX, working together to establish the first permanent human settlement on Mars. Elon's heart skipped. How soon? Launch window opens in 18 months. We could have a crew on Mars by 2026. After hanging up, Elon walked outside. The Texas sky was clear, and Mars was visible as a tiny red dot among the stars. He thought about Sofia Rodriguez, dreaming of rocket ships, about David Chen, fighting cancer but still believing in the future, about kids like Asha in India, wanting to help people reach for impossible things. Phoenix had risen from the ashes of rocket tests. Now it was lifting humanity toward the stars. But the hardest part wasn't behind them. It was just beginning. Governments wanted to control Phoenix. Corporations wanted to profit from it. Military leaders wanted to weaponize it. And somewhere in the darkness, Chen Weiming was planning his next move. The battle for humanity's future had only just started. Even when keeping them made no sense at all. Mars launch facility, Boca Chica. 2 years later, the Starship stood 300 feet tall against the Texas morning sky. It was the most beautiful thing Elon had ever seen. Silver and gleaming, powered by Phoenix-enhanced engines that could carry humans to Mars in just 4 months instead of 9. Today was the day they had all dreamed of. The first crewed mission to Mars. T-minus 60 minutes, announced flight director Sarah Chen from Mission Control. No relation to the businessman who had tried to buy Phoenix. This Chen was one of the good ones, a brilliant engineer who had dedicated her life to getting humans to other planets. Elon stood in the observation deck, watching the crew prepare for departure. Maria Santos, now 53 years old, walked toward the rocket in her silver spacesuit. She had trained for 2 years to become an astronaut. Her childhood dream of carrying dreams to the stars was finally coming true. Dr. Kim walked beside her, carrying equipment that would set up the first Phoenix manufacturing facility on Mars. They had discovered that Phoenix could be made even better in Mars's thin atmosphere and low gravity. Still nervous? Asked Marcus Webb, standing next to Elon. Terrified, Elon admitted. We're sending my friends to another planet. If anything goes wrong, nothing will go wrong. Phoenix engines are the safest ever built. But Elon couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to happen. For 2 years, Chen Weiming had been quietly planning something. His lawsuits had failed. His attempts to steal Phoenix had failed. His reverse engineering projects had exploded. But Chen wasn't the type to give up. T-minus 30 minutes, Sarah announced. Elon's phone buzzed. A video call from an unknown number. Against his better judgment, he answered. Chen Weiming's face filled the screen. He looked older than before, angrier, desperate. Watching your little Mars expedition, Mr. Musk, Chen asked. What do you want, Chen? I want to make you one final offer. $500 billion, cash, today, for complete ownership of Phoenix technology. Elon almost laughed. You never learn, do you? But I have learned. I've learned that you care more about your friends than your principles. And right now, your friends are in great danger. Something cold grabbed Elon's stomach. What are you talking about? Chen smiled. It was the same hungry smile from 2 years ago, but now it looked insane. Remember our failed Phoenix experiments, the ones that caused all those explosions? Well, we finally found a use for our flawed Phoenix material. On the screen behind Chen, Elon could see what looked like a satellite control room. Technicians in military uniforms worked at computers covered in Chinese writing. Weapons, Elon whispered. Not just weapons, satellites, orbiting weapons platforms made with our unstable Phoenix material. Normally, they would explode and kill everyone nearby. But in space, they make perfect bombs. T-minus 15 minutes, Sarah announced. The Starship's engines began their startup sequence. You're bluffing, Elon said. Am I? Chen touched something on his keyboard. On Ellen's phone, a new image appeared. Satellite footage of the starship, taken from directly above. Beautiful ship, Chen said. It would be tragic if something happened to it during the journey to Mars. Ellen's hands shook. He looked out at the launch pad where his friends were preparing to make history. What do you want? Transfer all Phoenix technology to our consortium. Every file, every researcher, every secret. Do it now, and your friends live to see Mars. Refuse, and they become the first casualties of the Phoenix War. You're insane. I'm practical. You chose principles over profit. Now choose your friends over humanity's future. T-minus 10 minutes. Sarah announced. Elon closed his eyes. 2 years ago, he had chosen to keep Phoenix away from people like Chen. Now Chen was using flawed Phoenix to threaten the very mission that proved Phoenix's true value. I need time to think, Elon said. You have 5 minutes. After that, I give the order to fire. The video call ended. Elon stood frozen, watching his friends prepare for their journey to Mars. Maria was waving at the cameras, blowing kisses too. Her daughter watching from mission control. Dr. Kim was running final checks on her equipment. Marcus saw the look on Ellen's face. What's wrong? Chen has weaponized his failed Phoenix experiments. He's threatening to attack the Mars mission unless I give him everything. Can he do it? His Phoenix isn't stable, but in space. And stable means explosive. One satellite bomb could destroy the starship. So what do we do? Elon looked at the countdown clock. 8 minutes until launch. The culmination of everything he had worked for his entire life. He thought about Sofia Rodriguez, now 10 years old and cancer-free, studying to be an astronaut. He thought about David Chen, the boy from the hospital, now 13 and training for SpaceX's youth program. He thought about kids around the world who believed that humans could live among the stars. If he gave Chen the Phoenix technology, those dreams would die. Phoenix would become a weapon. Earth would be ruled by whoever had the biggest Phoenix bombs. But if he didn't give Chen what he wanted, Maria and Dr. Kim would die. The Mars mission would fail. And Chen would probably attack other Phoenix projects. Until Elon surrendered. T-minus 5 minutes. Sarah announced. Ellen's phone rang. Chen again. Time's up, Mr. Musk. What's it going to be? Your friends or your principles? Elon looked out at the starship. Inside, Maria and Dr. Kim were strapped into their seats, ready to make the greatest journey in human history. He thought about the choice he had made 2 years ago, walking away from $50 billion because some things couldn't be bought. Now he faced an even harder choice. Some things couldn't be protected either. Maria, he whispered, knowing she couldn't hear him. I'm sorry. He was about to make a decision that would save his friends and doom humanity's future, or find a third option that no one saw coming, even when keeping them made no sense at all. Mission control. Boca Chica. T-minus 5 minutes. I need to talk to Maria, Elon said suddenly. Marcus looked confused. Now, we're about to launch. Now. Elon grabbed the mission control microphone. Maria, this is Elon. I need you to listen carefully. Maria's voice crackled through the speakers. What's wrong? You sound scared. There's a threat. Weaponized satellites. Chen Weiming is trying to stop the mission. Silence. Then Dr. Kim's voice. What kind of threat? Elon explained quickly. The failed Phoenix experiments. The orbital weapons. Chen's ultimatum. $500 billion or his friends would die. So abort the mission. Maria said calmly. No. If I give him Phoenix technology, he'll use it to control the world. Everything we've worked for will be lost. T-minus 3 minutes. Sarah announced, her voice shaking. Then we go, Dr. Kim said firmly. Mars is worth the risk. You could die. Elon protested. We could die crossing the street. Maria replied. But we don't stop crossing streets. Elon felt tears on his face. His friends were willing to die for the dream they all shared, but he couldn't let them. There's another option, he said quietly. He turned to Marcus. Remember what Dr. Kim discovered about Phoenix in Mars's atmosphere? It works better there, more stable. More than that, Phoenix made on Mars is different, stronger. And it can neutralize the unstable Phoenix that Chen is using for weapons. Understanding dawned on Marcus's face. You're not just sending them to Mars. You're sending them to build a defense system. T-minus 2 minutes, Sarah announced. Alan's phone rang. Chen again. Last chance, Musk. Transfer Phoenix technology. Now or watch your friends burn. I have a counteroffer, Elon said. You're not in a position to make offers. Actually, I am. You see, Chen, you made one mistake. You told me about your weapons too early. On the big screen in Mission Control, new images appeared. Not from Chen's satellites, but from SpaceX's own Phoenix-enhanced defense satellites, launched secretly over the past 6 months. Impossible, Chen whispered. You're not the only one who can build weapons in space, Elon said, but mine don't explode randomly. They work exactly as designed. The images showed SpaceX satellites moving into position around Earth. Each one carried Phoenix-enhanced defense systems that could stop any attack. Your unstable Phoenix bombs are surrounded, Elon continued. One signal from me, and they become space junk. You're bluffing. T-minus 1 minute, Sarah announced. Try me, Elon said. Chen's face on the phone screen showed pure rage. You think you've won, even if you stop my satellites. There are others. Russia, North Korea, Iran, they all have Phoenix weapons now. Flawed Phoenix weapons, unstable, dangerous to everyone, including the people who built them. T-minus 30 seconds, Sarah announced. 10:98. Chen screamed something in Chinese and the call cut off. 3, 2, 1 ignition. The Starship's Phoenix-enhanced engines lit up the Texas sky. Maria and Dr. Kim lifted off toward Mars, carrying humanity's greatest dream with them. But 30 minutes into the flight, everything went wrong. We're under attack, Maria's voice crackled through space. Multiple impacts on the hull. Chen had fired his weapons after all. The unstable Phoenix bombs were tearing the Starship apart. Life support failing, Dr. Kim reported. Hull breach. In Section 3, Elon watched in horror as his friends fought for their lives millions of miles away. His defense satellites were working, but they couldn't stop all of Chen's weapons. Emergency repair systems activated, Maria announced. But we've lost main propulsion. Can you make it to Mars? Elon asked. Negative. We're drifting. Life support will fail in 6 hours. That's when everything changed. Dr. Kim's voice came through the speakers, steady and determined. Elon, listen carefully. The Phoenix material we brought is reacting to the weapons that hit us. How? Chen's unstable Phoenix is being neutralized by our stable Phoenix. It's like one cancels out the other. What does that mean? It means we can fix this. But someone needs to stay here and build the neutralization system. Someone needs to make sure Mars gets its Phoenix manufacturing facility. Ellen's heart stopped. Maria, I'm staying, Maria said quietly. Dr. Kim is staying too. We always knew this might be a one-way trip. No, we'll send a rescue mission. There's no time, and there's no need. Maria's voice was calm, peaceful. This is what we came here to do, build humanity's future on Mars. We can work around the clock to develop Phoenix Mars manufacturing, Dr. Kim added. This will ensure Earth can defend itself against any future weapons attacks. Elon realized this moment watching his friends choose to stay on Mars to save humanity was why he had walked away from $50 billion. Ours 2 years ago. Not for abstract principles. Not for distant futures, but for people brave enough to carry impossible dreams to impossible places. The Chinese consortium never understood, Elon told the global audience watching the crisis unfold. Phoenix isn't just a material. It's proof that when we reach for the impossible, we discover things that were always there, waiting for us to be worthy of them. Chen Weiming appeared on international news one final time. His satellites had self-destructed. His weapons had failed. His organization was in ruins. You know, he said to Elon via satellite link. You knew that selling Phoenix would have destroyed it. No, Elon replied. I hope that keeping it would save us all. 3 days later, Maria and Dr. Kim sent their first transmission from Mars's surface. Phoenix manufacturing facility online. Dr. Kim reported, the material works even better here than we predicted. We're not just surviving, Maria added, her voice full of joy. We're thriving. And we're ready to welcome the next crew of Mars colonists. The cliffhanger from 2 years ago was finally revealed in its full context. The $50 billion offer wasn't just about money or even about Phoenix technology. It was a test. A test of whether humanity was ready for technologies that could either save civilization or destroy it. And humanity had passed, even when keeping them made no sense at all. 5 years later, multiple locations around the world Sofia Rodriguez grew up in was nothing like the one her father had known. She stood in the courtyard of Tesla High School in Austin, Texas, watching her robotics team test their Phoenix-enhanced rover. At 15 years old, she was cancer-free, brilliant, and absolutely determined to keep the promise Elon Musk had made to her in a hospital room 7 years ago. The rover needs to be lighter. She told her teammate, Marcus Kim. He was Dr. Sarah, Kim's nephew, visiting from the Mars colony where his aunt now ran the most advanced materials laboratory in human history. Easy, Marcus said, pulling out a Phoenix manufacturing tool. We can reduce the weight by 80% and make it 10 times stronger. Sophia smiled. In her world, impossible problems had simple solutions. Climate change had ended when Phoenix made renewable energy cheaper than breathing. Electric cars cost less than bicycles and drove farther than any gas car ever could. Her father, Miguel, now owned 3 Phoenix manufacturing plants and employed half of Austin. My dad says Mr. Musk could have been the richest person who ever lived, Sophia told Marcus as they worked, but he chose to make everyone else richer instead. Smart choice, Marcus replied. My aunt says Phoenix only works when it's shared. Try to hoard it, and it turns into poison. They both knew the story. Chen Weiming's organization had collapsed when their weaponized Phoenix proved too unstable to control. Other countries that tried to steal Phoenix technology had faced similar disasters. The material itself seemed to reject selfish intentions, but when shared freely, Phoenix transformed everything it touched. Mars colony base Alpha Maria Santos, now 58 and the elected governor of Mars's first permanent settlement, stood in the observation dome watching Earth rise over the Martian horizon. 200 colonists called this red planet home now. Children who had been born here played in Phoenix-enhanced habitats that could withstand any Martian storm. Daily Earth transmission coming in, announced her assistant, David Chen. Yes. The same David Chen who had been fighting cancer in a hospital bed 7 years ago. He was 20 now, healthy and strong, serving as Mars Colony's communications director. Elon had kept his promise. There had been a seat waiting for David on the 3rd Mars transport. Patch it through, Maria said. Elon's face appeared on the screen, older now but with the same fire in his eyes. Behind him, the latest starship was being prepared for departure. These ships launched from Mars every month now, carrying supplies, new colonists, and dreams that no longer seemed impossible. How's the Phoenix production going? Elon asked. Beyond our wildest expectations, Maria replied. Mars manufactured. Phoenix is creating technologies we never imagined. Dr. Kim thinks she's close to developing Phoenix-enhanced life support systems that could work on any planet. Any planet, Jupiter's moons, Saturn's rings, maybe even planets outside our solar system. Elon's smile could have powered rockets. So Mars was just the beginning. Mars was always just the beginning. Delhi, India. Priya Sharma watched her daughter, Asha, graduate from the Elon Musk Institute of Technology. At 22, Asha had designed Phoenix-enhanced water purification systems that could turn any contaminated water source into drinking water within minutes. I want to work for SpaceX, Asha announced at her graduation party. I want to help design the ships that will take humans to other star systems. Priya remembered when her family had been lucky to have electricity for hours a day. Now, thanks to Phoenix, they generated more clean energy than they could use. Asha had grown up in a world where energy poverty was impossible, where every child could dream of reaching the stars. The Rocket Man would be proud, Priya said, using Asha's childhood name for Elon. He's not just the Rocket Man anymore, Asha replied. He's the person who proved that doing the right thing is always the smart thing. Austin, Texas, SpaceX headquarters. Li Xiaoping, now director of Global Phoenix Operations, brought his own son to work for Take Your Child to Work Day. 8-year-old Tommy Lee stared up at the massive starship being assembled in the factory. Baba, will we really live on other planets someday? Tommy asked. Not just visit, he said, live, build cities, raise families, make those worlds as beautiful as Earth. Lee thought about the USB drive still sitting in his desk drawer at home, the one he had never used to steal Phoenix secrets. Every time he looked at it, he remembered the choice that had defined his life: integrity over money, principles over profit. His mother was 85 now, healthy and happy, living in a Phoenix enhanced care facility that felt more like a resort than a hospital. She often told her grandson stories about the old days, when people chose money over morals and nearly destroyed their own planet. We were lucky, she would say. We were lucky that good people made hard choices. Chen Weiming's former headquarters, Shanghai building that once housed Chen's consortium, was now a museum. The Chen Weiming Memorial Museum of Failed Greed, people called it. School children toured the exhibits that showed what happened when people tried to weaponize Phoenix technology. Room after room displayed the wreckage of exploded laboratories, failed military projects, and the environmental disasters caused by attempting to mass-produce Phoenix without understanding its true nature. The final exhibit was a holographic message from Chen himself, recorded before his death in a prison cell 2 years earlier. I spent my life trying to buy the future, his image said to visiting children. I never understood that the future can't be bought. It can only be earned. Tesla Gigafactory. Austin, the President Elon Musk, now 68 years old, walked through the factory where it all began. The same gray conference room where Chen had offered him $50 billion was now a shrine to the choice that changed everything. A plaque on the door read, "In this room, humanity chose its future." He was preparing for his own journey to Mars tomorrow. After all these years of sending others to build humanity's future among the stars, it was finally his turn to see it for himself. Before leaving, he made one final stop. The Dell Children's Medical Center had been renamed the Sofia Rodriguez Phoenix Medical Center. Every child who came here received the best treatment in human history, all free of charge, all powered by Phoenix technology that made healing faster and gentler than anyone had thought possible. He found what he was looking for in the children's cancer ward: a little girl, maybe 8 years old, sitting in a bed decorated with rocket ship stickers. She was drawing pictures of Mars colonies while her Phoenix-enhanced treatment worked to heal her body. "Are you really going to Mars?" she asked when she saw him. Emma Walsh. The nurses had told him her name. She was fighting the same disease Sophia and David had beaten, but now it was easier. Now Phoenix made the treatment feel like taking vitamins instead of fighting a war. "Tomorrow morning," Elon confirmed. "Will you take me someday? When I'm better?" Elon smiled, seeing the continuation of humanity's greatest story in a child's eyes. The same question Sophia had asked, the same question David had asked, the same question that children would ask for generations to come. "I'll save you a seat," he promised. Later that night, as Elon prepared for his Mars journey, he thought about the choice that had made all of this possible. Walking away from $50 billion had seemed insane at the time. Everyone had called him crazy, but he had learned something important that day. He had learned that some things become worthless the moment you put a price on them. Friendship, love, dreams, the future of humanity, hope itself. These things couldn't be bought or sold. They could only be protected, nurtured, and shared. He walked away from $50 billion not because he didn't want the money, but because he wanted something worth infinitely more: of a future where children dreamed of stars instead of counting coins, where humanity's greatest achievements couldn't be bought, only earned through the courage to choose tomorrow over today. As his starship lifted off toward Mars the next morning, carrying humanity's dreamer to the world he had helped create, one thing was perfectly clear: sometimes the choice that makes no sense at all is the only choice that makes sense, even when keeping them made no sense at all. That was the end of this incredible journey about how one man's choice to walk away from $50 billion changed the world forever. Elon Musk proved that some things are worth more than money, like integrity, humanity's future, and the dreams of children who want to reach for the stars. I'm curious, where are you watching this from? Let me know in the comments below. Are you from Austin, where it all began, from Mars Colony Base Alpha, or somewhere else entirely? If this inspired you as much as it inspired me, Please hit that like button. It helps more people discover these amazing tales of courage and principle. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for many more fascinating videos about the choices that shaped our world. We explore the moments when ordinary people made extraordinary decisions that changed everything. Most importantly, share this with your friends and family. In a world that often feels divided, we need more reminders that doing the right thing, even when it makes no sense, can create miracles. Spread kindness, spread awareness, and remember, the future belongs to those brave enough to choose it over profit. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.